Welcome to the Multitasking Maven Show. If we haven't met, I'm Rhonda, and I help busy moms scale their business that meets their season of life. I should know because for the past 14 years, I've been busy building a seasonal business that is larger than your local Target, while I've been homeschooling my 4 children, being a soccer mom, and running my household. If it takes you longer to find a link for your business than to stand in line for your favorite drink at Starbucks, we need to talk. Find out why Carol had to say, "You have saved me at least 5 hours a week" with my Productivity Ninja workshop. Let's get into today's episode. I am really excited about today's episode. I have entitled it Work from Home Tips and Ideas. I'm going to share with you some experiences that I've had over the past 15 years by working from home. And then we're going to talk about this amazing workbook that one of my teammates and I have put together that's going to help you put together a strategy for your business, whether you're launching or maybe you are already in your business right now and you are looking to take it to the next level. That is what I want to do. I want to set you up for success. So if you don't know, over 14 years ago, I started a seasonal children's consignment sale. I had 2 little babies. I was working in corporate America. I was a pharmaceutical rep. I was expecting my 3rd child. It was the month of October, so it was way past consignment sale season, and people had to pay to park. It was not a recipe for success. But what was the recipe was that I was looking for something as, number one, a backup plan, because you never know, at being a pharmaceutical rep, if you've ever been one, they like to dangle that carrot and very quickly pull it away. And number 2, I had always wanted to have my own business. So I jumped at the opportunity because it was something at the time with littles and a full-time job that could be flexible. And it was really flexible because really I was only working about 4 months out of the year, and I could work around my work schedule and around my children. Now, as I have made this journey over the past going on 15 years, my why has changed a little bit because I found that it was really important for me to be able to carve out a space that was just for myself. I've also made the transition to being online and coaching women to take their business, to scale their business to the next level and make it what they want. I get really excited and become very passionate in supporting other women in their businesses. Now, along the way, there have been other businesses that I have had. And while some may say they were successful, I really had to do just a hard search within myself to say that this wasn't the right business for me. And 2 of these businesses were product-based businesses. One, I actually registered a trademark and I sold it across the United States gift stores. I sold on Wayfair.com. I was an actual merchant. I didn't set up a store, so Amazon actually purchased from me. And you may know the little site Zulily. I also sold on there and a lot of other websites. But it was something that it did not fit with my passion. Fulfilling product orders and fulfilling POs and things like that, that was something that did not excite me. And so it was at that time, I was like, I'm ready to make a change. I've had this experience now, and I'm never going to wonder what if. Well, a few years later, you would think that I would have learned, but I felt like this was more in a line with a seasonal children's consignment sale. I launched a children's boutique line of clothing. And I thought, well, this is great. I love fabric. I love classic design. And I'm going to make it work with my schedule. And initially it did. So we would do samples. I would post them on Facebook. You may have remembered purchasing things on Facebook like that. And I would send them an invoice. People would pay. I would ship it. It was a beautiful thing. And the thing that I really enjoyed about it and loved about it was that I went into an area that really all of the textile industry had moved overseas. So I was able to employ some workers that had been working in textiles for over 20 years. So that was just a huge blessing. And the other thing that I loved was that it was made in the USA. That was really important to me. And so I went along. I had my event twice a year. I was now homeschooling. I was home full time. And now I was selling online this children's boutique line. Well, October happened And right after Halloween, you would have thought the skies opened and orders fell. It was amazing. Literally, I think we went from 10, 20 orders a day to like 100 orders a day. Within a 6-week period of time, we did $40,000 in sales. Now, you may be thinking, well, that sounds really successful. It stressed me out beyond no end. I was having a hard time managing fabric orders. The demand was through the roof. We went from 1 seamstress to 4. I had 2 packers, a shipper, an embroiderer, and we were working. I would drive to the shop and I would start cutting out orders. I also had a cutter. I would cut out orders starting at 6 a.m. in the morning, run home, homeschool, come back, work into the evening, and rinse and repeat. Just do this over and over again. I knew that when we shipped our last order out on December 15th, that was it, and I was shutting up my shop. There was absolutely no way that I would go through another holiday season like that. It was not an experience that I enjoyed, and it was not something that I'm like, I never want to do a product-based business again. I'll do digital products because I love those. Those are teaching, they're digital, but I cannot do, it does not mesh with my lifestyle. And what is my lifestyle? My lifestyle is being here at home as a mother, homeschooling 4 very active children, and being on the soccer field, going to music concerts, doing all of the things with my family, camping, bike riding, all of that good stuff. And so it was still important for me to carve out that space. And my sale has really been the thing that has been the consistency through the past 14 years as I've kind of ebbed and flowed and kind of figured out my way and done my experimenting. And you're like, well, why is this important to me? And how can I use this for work from home tips and ideas? Well, I'm going to share with you the workbook that we've put together. And whether you're launching or whether you're currently in your business, I think going through this exercise and really listening to my experience, I think sometimes that we start something and we feel like we have to continue it. We need to allow ourselves grace and permission to say, this isn't working for me, and it's okay. It's not a failure. I have learned so much from all of those experiences that I've had. It makes me who I am today. It makes me the business owner that I am today. And so I wouldn't give up any of those experiences, but I want to share with you the workbook that Rachel has just gone over the top with that I think can be helpful for you. Because really, my goal is to set you up for success and to help you scale your business, whether you're launching or whether you're in it. So the 5 things that we have for you in today's workbook are this. Number 1, a time audit. We all have the same 168 hours. I know we think we have 1,000, but they're the same 168. It's how you use them that makes all the difference in the world. And you've heard me say this before, but it's important to be realistic with your time. And if you're launching something or you're ready to scale your business, then you need to know exactly where your time is, where your pockets are, right? Number 2. What is your dream business? You know, one of the things is that sometimes we romanticize. Well, Susie over here is doing all of this. She's making all of this money. I want that business. Well, what I want you to be realistic about is I don't want you to go from something that you really dislike. Maybe you're in corporate America, or maybe you're in a 9-to-5 that you don't like, and go from this fire to another fire. So I really want you to think about, what does that dream week look like? What does that dream day look like? Write it out. Daydream a little bit. And really just let yourself be creative and let yourself express like what you think your dream job is going to be all about, okay? Now we're getting into the next layer, which are goals. The way that I break down goals, I think if you think about it in terms of a year, it's very overwhelming. I like to think about them in terms of quarters, and I brainstorm ideas for each month in the quarter. All right, because if you focus on each month, then you could break it down to week, and then you could break it down by day. So then now we're focused and we don't get distracted, or we don't lose that focus, right, to help get us across the finish line. It's really important that you write down the goals and that you track them. Were you successful? What worked? What didn't? What are you going to continue? what is something that you're not going to do. If you do this kind of step by step, then you're going to see what those roadblocks are. And it will prevent you from going down a path that you don't want to go down, because this is your dream business, right? Number 4, the resources. What resources do you currently have? Are they paid? Are they free? I just recently did an inventory myself. I literally saved $160 by cutting out some of the resources that I was using. I tried so hard to go down a path with one of them, and I really, really wanted it to work. But it was something, there was some tech, not that I couldn't manage it, but I had to continue almost to reinvent the wheel every single time that I sat down. I know my schedule. I know the time that I have. And tech trip-ups, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So I let it go. And now it was a rock in my way, and now it's not blocking me anymore. And I feel freer, I feel excited, and I'm motivated because I've replaced it with another tool that I know like the back of my hand. All right? So we need to look at the resources. And then finally, this is almost probably my favorite page of the workbook. We are going to take a look at 4 different areas. The first one is, what are your passions? Like, what gets you really excited? You can't stop talking about. You could do it 24 hours a day. I want you to brainstorm. I want you to put all of those ideas in that first box. The second box, what skills do you bring to the table? I had a conversation with my best friend just the other day, and she's like, I'm thinking about doing a couple of things, but I don't think I could do anything online, but I'm looking for something else that I want to do. And I was like, okay, well, you were a paralegal before, right? And she's like, that was years ago. There's just no way. And I was like, all right, what about proofreading? Can you be an editor? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, people are seeking your skill, okay? She just needs to put a couple of pieces and parts together, and she has a legitimate online business, all right? So we've got passions, skills. The next thing that I want you to do are, what are the questions that you are asked? Like, everywhere you go. I love the way you put your outfits together. I love your accessories. I love your hair. I love your makeup. How do you get everything done? How do you stay organized? You are so crafty at XYZ. What are those questions that you get asked all of the time? All right. Now that we have the complete inventory, I want you to pick one thing out of every single one of those boxes and put it at the bottom. Friends, that's your dream business. You have put it all together. We have done a time audit, so we're going to be realistic. We have thought about what our dream business looks like. We've done an inventory of goals. What are some of the things that we need to do to reach them? What resources do we currently have? What do we need? And then we put it all together right at the end by looking at our passions, our skill set, and what we are asked about all the time. Do you see why I was over the moon excited about this episode? Rachel has gone above and beyond for this printable. I love it. So make sure you click on it, you access it, you work on it, and then I want you to be a part of our private Facebook group. We will continue the conversation there. And I want to hear, what is your dream business? What are you doing? What are you launching? Or what are you ready to scale? All right, until next time. Thank you for listening to today's episode. For show notes and links, go to multitaskingmaven.com. While you're there, we're continuing the conversation in the private Facebook group. You can find your invitation. Until next week,